Welcome to a podcast on foreign aid and whether it helps third world countries or not. I'm Chiara, Tibbitt.
Alex Scariati.
And my name is Tyler Chandross-Cohen. I'm going to start off here talking about our policies on foreign aid. So in the past, we have, as a country, United States, we've been very involved in helping smaller countries, but there are some ulterior motives to that. For Cuba, for example, we entered Cuba trying to help them win the war against Spain, or their independence, but we also put our foot in there just to try to get some trade help because we wanted to get the Panama Canal for us. So obviously there are some ulterior motives in foreign aid. It's not just a larger country helping a smaller country. And Alex, if you want to talk about some newer stuff.
So the reasoning of our podcast, or the sample size we chose, was we decided to focus on third world countries that needed foreign aid and that were not recently involved in war or are going through war or need equipment for the aftermath of war. And Key is going to explain the difficulties of deciding our third world countries.
So at first we looked up third world countries and also the countries that were receiving the most foreign aid. There were plenty of countries to choose from, but as we had to narrow down our sample size, at first we probably had around 20 countries, and then we did research on almost all of the countries, and most of them had either been in war recently and were still receiving funds for the recovery of the war, or they were presently in a war, whether it was with another country or within the country. And foreign aid would be biased, and you wouldn't be able to see economic growth if that were the case. So we chose countries Ethiopia, Haiti, and India because none of them are either in war or recently have been in war, and they're receiving foreign aid, and we wanted to see if their economies were being helped by the foreign aid given from outside countries.
Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast. So now we're going to discuss the three countries we picked for this case study. I'm going to start off talking about Ethiopia. So in 2016, their GDP growth rate was about 8%. And between 2001 and 2007, they had about 6,300 million of foreign aid. But, Ethiopia still remains one of the 10 poorest countries in the world with an estimated annual per capita income of only 619 in 2015, and this is the large aid recipient in Africa. The government of Ethiopia has now introduced a 5-year growth plan from 2016 to 2020, which includes ambitious targets for growth and allocates huge resources to promote development, reflects on the government of Ethiopia's commitment to provide health, education, and economic growth. So in conclusion, the U.S. helping Ethiopia wasn't really a direct help, but it did help kickstart a new 5-year growth plan, which will hopefully turn Ethiopia's country around. So I'm going to pass it over to Chiara now.
I was working on Haiti, and Haiti has always had natural disasters occur there because it's an island. So earthquakes or hurricanes are constantly breaking down the economy because the country has to recover. So other countries are always contributing foreign aid, whether it's through food, money, or sending the Red Cross in. In the most recent earthquake in 2010, Haiti was in dire need of help, and a lot of countries around the world created a fund for Haiti, and Haiti asked for certain amounts of money to go into different places in their government so that they could allocate the money better to each program. And even though Haiti had asked for this, the country supplying the money gave money to Red Cross or charitable organizations that would go in immediately and take care of the damage. But in total, there's even a statistic that says that the Red Cross promised to make around 3,000 homes, when in reality, they only made 6 on record. So foreign aid, if it's not given to the correct program, is a failure. It might work in the short run, but in the long term, it does not actually work. And before the earthquake of 2010, Haiti's economy was benefiting from foreign aid. But now, with the current type of foreign aid, because foreign aid can come in money or natural resources like food, it either helps or destroys their economy. For Haiti, right after a natural disaster, it does not help the economy. But if it's in the normal range of time, and Haiti's also been receiving foreign aid for over 200 years. So in the next podcast, we'll talk about how foreign aid affects them.
So for the last one, I did India, and India is receiving foreign aid from Britain, who gives them 1.6 billion in aid over the next 4 years. India is currently now one of the richest countries in the world and has one of the highest economic growth rates of 8.5. Then there are many debates going around in Britain about whether they should continue to aid India, and politicians believe that the British should continue to aid only the poorer parts of India instead of it entirely. And the incentive of the British for giving foreign aid to India is to use their military assets, because their military has been conducting nuclear tests, and that would give them enough reason to use their nuclear bombs if they would need it in the future. And currently, India themselves are giving foreign aid to other countries. The most they've given was 500 million to poorer countries, according to a 2008 report. And a quote I have posted on our website explains how the British have really helped India allow 1.2 million children to go to school in the last 10 years and have lifted more than 2 million people out of poverty in the poorer states. Welcome back. So now we're going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of foreign aid. So the advantages of foreign aid are rebuilding the countries who are receiving aid, saves civilian lives, provides medicine, promotes sanitation, encourages development within the country, and it taps into the country's natural resources. Now Tyler's going to talk about the disadvantages.
Some disadvantages of foreign aid include economic and political pressure from countries giving aid. And then some countries are also at higher risk of corruption by accepting this aid. It also increases the countries receiving aid dependency on outside help, so they really can't start up and just start helping themselves. And also, aid usually only benefits large corporations.
For example, in Haiti, the country that I researched, foreign aid only helped when a natural disaster didn't just happen. After the natural disaster happened in 2010 for the earthquake, countries gave foreign aid and gave it to Red Cross, as we said in the other podcast. And they started giving rice and all these crops that Haiti grows themselves. And Haiti's had to start doing pop-up sweatshops, which has child labor, low payment. But this was the only way that the people of Haiti would make money, since they were getting free food. So how does a civilian even compete with free rice when that's the crop that they're selling? Obviously, they're going to go to the other countries for this crop. So foreign aid for Haiti is only beneficial when it is given to the correct programs and not after a natural disaster, because it takes longer to recover after a natural disaster. So here's Alex.
On the other hand, foreign aid helped India a lot they were actually able to come out of a poor economy that they were struggling with, and now only few parts of their cities in India are still in debt, but over time I think they can overcome and become more than just a third world country.
And now I'm going to talk about Ethiopia. So basically, the money given from the United States to Ethiopia did not directly help because Ethiopia had no way of taking that money and divvying it out to proper organizations to help healthcare, food, economic growth, and everything. So now the government of Ethiopia has stepped in and they have a plan from 2016 to 2020 to start building up their resources and everything by themselves because foreign aid really did not help Ethiopia.
Yay!
Thank you for
So
listening to our
thank
podcast.
you. Bye.
You